All right, welcome back, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, Rumble, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, X, share, hit the notification bell. Exciting day today. Portland is in chaos. When is it not, though? Kristi Noem calls out the lies. Nick Sortor, is it Sortor? Soto? Whatever. Sortor gets arrested for defending himself, and the police chief shrugs it off. In New York, Assemblyman Zohran Mamdani's ties to radical activism keep piling up. Not surprised there. Meanwhile, in California, Gavin Newsom vetoes firefighter pay raises as illegal immigration brings deadly consequences. Plus, new trans controversies in schools and courts and the collapse of Los Angeles tourism and Hollywood, sadly enough. So we have a local story to start off the show. Great White. If you guys don't know what Great White is, I believe it's a kind of healthier style restaurant, supposed to be like Australian. And I've seen they're in some controversy, which is crazy because I go there at least twice a week. So we have a video on this.
Hey boys, I hope you're seated and buckled in because this story gets so much worse because I have confirmation that it is a company-wide culture coming from the top down from the Sams themselves. And since a bunch of people yesterday who lack basic deductive thinking skills told me that I was reaching and apparently not smart even though they're the ones that couldn't see patterns, which is hilarious because the ability to recognize patterns is literally how IQ is measured, and just because you don't see the patterns doesn't mean it's not there, it just means there's nothing up here. And apparently since I have no regard for the truth and just view gossip, I brought hard evidence. And to answer your question, Rick, the short answer is yes. The long answer is not only do we have confirmation that this is a pattern of behavior of Great White because it happened to this person both times they went, and not only did this happen to Charles M. Blow, the renowned Harvard fellow who is also a black man, but he specifically asked to be moved, and even though the whole restaurant was open, they told him there was no openings. And if we take a deeper dive at some of the reviews that were posted before all of this, this is the one for their Larchmont location, where 3 years ago, Winston here noticed that there was not a single person of color on their waitstaff until one day he walked by and noticed one black man. He literally compared it to Get Out. Or what about this review from over a year ago where they deliberately delay service for black people as well? And even 10 months ago, this Asian family were prevented from sitting on their benches while waiting for a table. And if we take a look at their Venice location, 2 years ago, this person noticed, no black folks here. You ready for this one? Apparently, Great White wasn't the only restaurant that the Sams owned, because 6 years ago, they opened up another place in Venice that was like right around the corner from their Great White Venice. Want to know what they called it? Gran Blanco. And for those of you that don't speak Spanish, you want to take one wild guess what Gran Blanco means? Yeah, that's right. It means Great White in Spanish.
The funniest part about this is they're like, Great White. It's all, the pieces are fitting together. They're talking about white people being great and then Gran Blanco and all these things. Okay, so I go to these restaurants, all the locations, all the time. It is a very hipster. It is very diverse. There's white liberals only really working there. There's Mexicans, there's blacks, there's gays, there's everything you can think of working there and everything you can think of eating there. First of all, they sit me in the corner all the time. I've never got sat at a restaurant and been like, this must be because I'm white. And then look around and be like, there's a lot of whites around me. They must be doing this on purpose. First of all, let's get some things straight. Because I notice that it's certain groups that love to always be like, how can I make this about me? This is about me. First of all, the only thing they would do would be actually racist is if they straight up just denied you service. That's the only way you could say any of this. And I'd be like, okay. Also, they're like, it's not a really diverse restaurant. Okay, well, I'm not like, extremely knowledgeable about food that black people tend to eat, but it's usually not healthy Australian style breakfast. So I'm just throwing that out there. Maybe that's why you don't see tons of black people there. If you went to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, I don't think you would see just 4 feet tall Chinese women anywhere. You'd probably see more black people. So that's just common sense. People won't say it. I will. And so we've dived deep into this, and they're like, yeah, they sat all the Asians together. And do you have a problem? Even if that was a thing, like, would you have a problem sitting next to your own kind? That's kind of weird. Like, I would never think that way. But I'm like, this is a bigger issue. And I commented on this, and I'm sure that comment will go viral. Like most things I say, I was like, look, this is why LA's failing, okay? Great White is delicious, it's consistent, and now that I know they're white supremacists, I will support them even more than I already do. And here's the thing, they make great food. The service, whatever, I don't know, never been that great. I'm white. They didn't treat me better. But I'm like, they make good food. The only thing that should qualify for a restaurant being open and remaining open is great food. In LA, you can't even say anything about the service because the service is shit everywhere, literally everywhere. But I'm like, they make good food. It's not a civil rights movement. You're not going to eat to be like, how can I make this about me and culture and like what's going on? And everyone's like, only support Black-owned businesses. Don't go there. These people are racist. I'm like, yeah, but like the Black-owned businesses suck. That's why no one goes there. Like, you guys, I'm sorry. This is why all the good things we have are leaving. Because I'm like, this is a great restaurant people enjoy. And what are you doing? You're trying to cancel them and get it shut down. You don't walk in and there's a Confederate flag and they're like, what's up? Ching Chong, go sit in the corner. They're not denying anyone's service. Like, this is like the liberal bullshit of like why nothing cool can survive here. They're just like, how do I make this about me? And then how do I ruin a restaurant that people enjoy? If you genuinely think that they're racist, or I don't know, I haven't heard Asian people speak up in a while. This is interesting. Then just don't go there. Like, then just don't support it. I live here. I'm forced to support people I hate all the time. So I don't know. We'll see if there's anything else to this. That's just my 2 cents.
Because they serve nothing but Asian food. Now, the Sam's sold Gran Blanco about a year ago, but if you take a look at the reviews, 4 years ago, Hannah writes, this place definitely gives me vibes. Where if you're not white and you walk in, everyone stops to stare at you. I'm sorry, are reviews a little too speculatory for you? Because surprise, their employees also reached out to me, including one that worked at Gran Blanco, where apparently a few years ago they had a discrimination lawsuit, and so the managers decided to finally hire a Black person. And if that's not explicit for you, one of the Sams literally told the management at Gran Blanco to not let too many Black people in because they didn't want the place to get ghetto and trashy.
We can pause. I'm going to say it, because no one else will. Unfortunately, in Los Angeles, things open all the time, and they're great. And what's a sign of it going downhill? I've worked in top restaurants here, and I've worked in all the nightclubs, and I've worked at bars, okay? Unfortunately, when you start letting a lot of, I'll say, so I can protect myself, a certain demographic in, then people don't want to go. Why is that? Because it gets trashy. Okay, if you play a certain type of music, it attracts certain people. It gets trashy. They're very difficult to deal with. I know. I've been in these positions. So being like telling the DJ to not play rap and hip hop because you don't want that crowd is to me not racist, but it's also just like common sense. That's not the crowd you want there. You don't want it to get rowdy. You don't want to be serving vodka Red Bulls. It's fucking Venice. It's like the most hipster area with the biggest idiots in it. It's not like North Hollywood or whatever. Go there. You have a million places to go. Everywhere in LA plays rap. You can go there and get crunk or whatever the people do now, but it's just like, that's not the vibe. We're allowed to have places that are not ghetto that play rap music. I believe rap music is literally MK Ultra because I'm like, I'm sorry. When I listen to rap music afterwards, I'm like, I feel like I just had a lobotomy. Like I somehow feel more retarded than I did 1 minute ago, and I don't know if that's on purpose, but it's just like this is how you run a successful business in Los Angeles. Everyone knows. Catch LA, perfect example. Used to be hot models, rich guys, blah, blah. And then what happens? Gets taken over by a certain demographic. And then guess what? I don't want to go there anymore because I don't like feeling uncomfortable and listening to everybody screaming around me with like mesh dresses with thongs on underneath. And then guess what? It's not a vibe anymore. It's not classy. It's not cool. Cool people stop going. And this is a fact. People won't say it, but that's what I'm here. So, we don't need to watch the rest of it. Just, I support my brothers in white Christ. Thank you so much, Great White. I will continue to go. And just keep the vibes right. Don't let them get to you. I'm so confused. Every time I go there, it's like there's like gay Black guys working there. I'm really confused. I'm like, I go to the 2 locations all the time. So I don't really understand. I'm not going there to be like, oh, I hope there's a Black person working. I'm going there to get the kebab. Okay? Stop doing this shit. This is why you guys don't deserve anything nice. It's going to be Portland here one day. Speaking of Portland, there's chaos in Portland. I can't believe it. Kristi Noem calls out lies about Portland being safe, while journalist Nick Sortor gets arrested after defending himself and vows to sue the corrupt police department, as he should. So we have a video of Kristi Noem responding to Kaitlan Collins' claim that Portland is safe.
Up to that, CNN in the White House yesterday, Kaitlan Collins goes viral saying, Portland's safe, Portland's beautiful, there's no crime in Portland. Your response to that?
Well, I disagree. We should have invited her to come along today. She would have been able to see the individuals that were getting off the streets and then talk with the law enforcement officers that are here every day doing God's work, making sure that America still continues to be the greatest country in the world.
Is that an open invitation to CNN to come along on the next one?
You know, absolutely. We will talk to her and see what we can do to convince her to come out in the real world, to get out from behind the desk and actually walk in the shoes of our law enforcement. That would be fantastic. Maybe that's how we fix the fake news in this country.
Well, my thing is, like, I don't understand when they're like, oh, this place is safe. There's really nowhere in the United States you can be like, well, that place is 100% safe. Yeah, there's crime everywhere, but Portland is known to be insane. We just talked about, like, what, last week on the show? The guy's kid was playing outside and a homeless guy, like, pulled his dick out and showed him, and then the cop came. They were like, well, he's allowed to do that. He wasn't, like, jerking off. And he's like, what's, like, going on here? Wasn't Portland the place where they were like, okay, you guys get this little section of, like, anarchy and there's no police, and then they all just, like, did drugs and, like, raped and killed each other, and then they had to be like, all right, this isn't really, like, working out. I mean, it's kind of, like, known to be a shithole. There's a show literally called Portlandia making fun of it. So I wouldn't be, like, comparing it to the Hamptons, to be fair. But they're not going to go down there and report on that. They're going to be like, it's fine. Just let them shoot up and stab each other. We have a video of Kristi Noem speaking to an illegal who was arrested for sexually assaulting a minor, still in the country, though.
Yes, you speak Spanish. I'll go translation. I speak also.
Hello. I'm Kristi. I wanted to ask you a few questions. How long have you been in the United States? You don't know? No English?
¿Cuántos años tienes en Estados Unidos?
Alrededor de
7 años.
How many times have you come in and gone out of the country illegally?
¿Cuántas veces has entrado a los Estados Unidos y te regresas desde México? Sí, 5 times.
5 times?
7 years.
You've been here 7 years? When's the last time you went back to Mexico? And is he a convicted sex offender here?
Sí.
No?
¿Tienes cargos?
You're in Portland?
¿De qué? Provecho.
What was your crime in this country?
¿Qué fue?
Una relación con una persona menor.
Minor.
A minor?
Minor.
Okay.
Oh, good. These are the doctors and lawyers that we are told by Democrats if we don't let into our country. Just all of them, that we're terrible people. Also, wait, our country's this easy to get into? You can get into the United States as an illegal and go back and forth 5 times over 7 years. It's that easy to get into our country. I'm not like a, professional person when it comes to like borders, but I'm pretty sure a lot of other countries, if you try to like illegally cross the border, they actually just shoot you. I didn't realize it was this easy. And then he can come in and molest minors and stay here. So that's beautiful. I feel like I see these stories every day at this point. I'm just like, these are all the good people. Also, you know what's so funny? Let me get this straight. You're here illegally because you fled Mexico. But then you go back every year? Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That makes total sense. So we have a video of Nick Sortor getting assaulted in Portland, and then he was arrested.
Get out of here, white boy. I'm walking down the street. You ain't going nowhere. Get out of here. I'll fuck your ass up. I will fuck your ass up, punk. Get out of here. Get out of here now. You're gonna get fucking paid. Don't fucking get it, bitch.
You alright? Okay? Get behind the car!
Nice rainbow colors. I like your rainbow.
He fell into a whale.
Not knowing those months
Wait, is this the place that I'm supposed to be told is perfectly safe? Is this the place they were just saying is a very safe, functioning place? Also, the training session we were talking, the Antifa fight club, that guy was the fat one that had like the Batman costume on. He was for sure there. Also, did you notice what they did, which is actually pretty insane, sort of smart? When they go to assault him, what do? They put up an umbrella so it blocks the camera, so you can't prove that you were assaulted, which is insane. Dude, if this was Republicans doing this, They would be in jail so fast. It's unbelievable, but smart. They're like, oh, we'll put up an umbrella, we block it. So we have a video of Nick and his lawyer talking about the situation.
Question. Now it's clear. You are moving forward with the federal lawsuit. You'll be getting confirmation of that in the next couple of weeks, but I would put it in the category of 99% certain we will be suing the Portland Police Department in federal court.
Okay, great. You know what? We're kind of at the point where we do need to sue, but then also, here's what's a little scary about it. I'm sure everyone's seen the very viral clip of that. She's like a pro-life influencer, her Savannah something, but she was in New York doing an interview and got punched in the face, was bleeding on camera. And the district attorney there literally dropped her case. And I'm like, the problem is conservatives are now being attacked, proof, on camera. But then because everyone running the systems is like a corrupt Democrat, especially the DAs, the cases are being dropped, which is really scary too. So we have a video of Portland woke police chief Bob Day accusing Nick of coming to Portland to get views on social media.
I wanted to ask you about an arrest that took place, obviously very high profile. It was Nick Sortor, who is a conservative influencer and journalist. He says that he was simply covering the protests, but he has, of course, been charged there with disorderly conduct. What can you tell me about that arrest overall?
Well, what we're seeing with the increased national attention is bringing in nationally recognized influencers. This is certainly a new phenomenon for myself and for law enforcement in general, and their reach is obviously very significant. And so they're going where they can get the views and create the perception. And our belief is that we are simply managing to the rule of law. Our role is to mitigate crimes, violence, et cetera. There was a disturbance involving Mr. Sortor. We took 3 people into custody, and those cases have been referred to the district attorney's office.
What season of What We Do in the Shadows was he in? That's the whitest man I've ever seen in my life. He genuinely looked like he was somewhat blue and had no blood running through his veins. That had to be a background because no fucking way was that filmed during the daytime because he would have set on fire. So the thing is, those are going to, the people they arrested, they're going to be turned into the district attorney. They'll be out in 1 hour. They'll be like, good job, you guys. Here's your $150. Thank you so much. Instead of getting mad at people who go to film your shithole town, you could actually just, solve the problem so people don't have to spend their time going there and exposing what a true shithole it really is. So if you guys live in Portland and you are out at night, please be aware because that guy's going to be lurking somewhere behind you with his little fangs out. Zohran's response to October 7th, Assemblyman Zohran Mamdani faces heat for his wife's radical activism, his intern ripping down hostage posters, and rallies that expose just how extreme his politics really are. So we have an image of his statement he posted about October 7th on the 2-year anniversary, which, by the way, yesterday I was like, I made a mistake. I was talking about October 7th, and I said the 1-year anniversary, and I was like, dude, I cannot believe this has been 2 years. This is very, very, very fresh in my memory. And I also had to kind of take a day off online from, having to defend myself about my views and also reflecting on all the horrible things that have happened and the fact that I have to live in a country with people who support those things. And he made this statement, and the interesting part of the statement, so the first paragraph is basically to gaslight you to think he's making a statement about how horrible what happened is, when in reality, he actually doesn't address any of the horrible things that have happened with, obviously Israel, the Jews, October 7th, and all of that. But why would he? He's a Muslim socialist. If he really cared, he probably would have shared, like many of other people did, the stories and everything that happened. But he didn't because he doesn't care. And I'm like, please tell me if you're Jewish in New York, you're not insane enough to vote for this guy. I would hope none of you are that stupid. And I would hope you would actively run against him. Okay. I mean, if, at this point, normal people should just start running. This guy's insane. I'm very nervous because I have to go to New York for work a lot. We have a video detailing Mamdani's wife, extreme activism. I probably keep saying his name wrong. I don't care. I'm going to say it however I feel like every time I read it.
This is the last thing I wanted to talk about today, but I have no choice. Today, New York City mayoral candidate Zohran Mamdani made a statement about October 7th and used the term genocide and apartheid. Now, this shouldn't surprise those of you who saw my post from a few weeks ago about his wife. She's gotten remarkably little coverage in this election, but we need to pay attention. Rama Duwaji represents Zohran Mamdani. She will be the first lady of New York City should he win. She is unabashedly anti-Israel and unabashedly pro-Hamas. 6 days ago, she posted romanticizing the flotilla. On October 7th, this is her only post. Take a look. This is not funny. He's not only against the Jews, he's against democracy and life as you know it in New York City. We cannot let him win. I don't care if you have to hold your nose, but vote for Andrew Cuomo. He's our only shot.
God, what a horrible world when Andrew Cuomo is like your savior that you have to go to. She looks like a 23-year-old goth girl that works at Hot Topic. That's going to be the woman representing New York City. I'm confused. Where's all the people with money? Where's all like the outspoken Jews in New York, the business people, successful people, families, normal people? I'm like, I feel like not enough people are like speaking out about how insane this. It's one thing to not agree with Israel, not agree with war. I don't even give a shit about arguing with those people at this point. To post pro-Hamas stuff. Okay, so you support terrorist organizations that rape women and kill babies and torture people and stuff. So that's what you support, and you should run New York City. And I should trust you that that's not going to be your belief system that you try to encourage and you import people from these places that you're so fond of. There's actually a really interesting video. We'll play it next week about what happens when they import a bunch of Palestinians somewhere and how that turns out. So we'll go into that next week. So apparently Mamdani and his wife met on Hinge, like a true love affair, as most people do. I guess that's the most relatable thing about them at this point. I'm surprised she wasn't working at Hot Topic or Intelligentsia and was so excited to get some of that sweet, sweet trust fund kid money. But here we are. So days after October 7th in 2023, when a Mamdani intern was ripping down posters in New York City condemning the attack, we have a video of that.
What is your name? Are you from Hunter? Are you from Hunter? No.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, you'll be all over the news.
Don't worry about it.
All over the news.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
You're so proud of
it.
What is your name? What is your name? Show your face. Show your face. Show your face.
Don't worry about it.
You're going to be. I'm not touching you.
You're harassing us.
Okay. No. You'll be all over the news. You're going to be all over. You're proud of it. You're proud of it. Yes.
Please do not touch me.
I'm not touching you.
You touched me earlier.
You're so proud of it. Show your face. Show your face.
You are not allowed to post
Yes,
anything.
I do. They're American citizens.
You
They are
cannot post
American
anything.
citizens.
You cannot record
You'll be
it.
all. I will.
I
will. Yes. I'm going to.
Recording without my consent.
And you know what? And you'll be all over the media.
Was that like is like in so that's the city you live in, that's what you're doing with your intern. You're making sure they go and take down posters and completely condemn everything that happened. Well, that's beautiful. That's definitely the person we want running New York City and supporting the same types of people that did 9/11. So clearly people in New York who vote for him have learned nothing. There is a video, this really funny Jewish kid made a video and he was going around to everybody and was like, oh, can you sign this for Mamdani? And everyone's like, yeah. And then he's like, just legally, I have to read you like 3 things from it. And everything's like, they start reading him. They're like, oh, I can't sign this. And they're like, oh, this is all fake. And he's like, no, it's from his actual website. So I'm like, once again, these people don't even know what they're voting for, but they're so excited because it just goes against the person who's somewhat normal. And I mean, Cuomo's, the fact that in a place like New York with such amazing, brilliant business people, and that's who should run the state, your cities, the country, a business person. This country is a business. Okay, it is. But instead, that's your guy. So we have a video of a radical Muslim mosque in Philadelphia. And is this what New York City is going to look like once he's elected? Most likely.
ونقدم الأرواح دون تواني وسنضرب الأعناق عن أجسادهم ونحرر الأقصى الحزين العاري ونقود جيش الله منجز وعده ونسومهم سوء العذاب القاني.
That's a glimpse of, if he wins, they're going to replace Fox News headquarters with Al Jazeera, and that's what they're going to be doing there. That's going to be what the kids are doing. They'll have all their little, free public schools for them to do whatever they do. You guys, you know what? Beautiful culture. This is exactly what America's been missing. We need more of that. Okay. We have a video of a Mamdani rally at a mosque. Beautiful. Notice it's not a church, because he would set on fire there.
Interviews to speak to reporters across this city, across the country. They've asked me, what does it mean that you are Muslim? What does your faith mean to you? And I tell them about my grandparents.
First of all, I cannot believe this is in the United States of America. That's insane. Second of all, where's all the women? When liberals watch this, where are all the women and the children? Oh yeah, they're not even probably allowed to be in that room. The irony of it. I'm like, imagine at least if Cuomo goes and does something, it's going to be a mixed room of normal people. He's literally talking about Islam and his religion and spreading it in a room full of Islamic men. What about that screams America? And what about that screams New York as well? So we have a video from my favorite GB News. I've been watching them nonstop. Britain is turning a blind eye to extremism.
488 people were arrested for supporting a banned terrorist organisation in Britain on Saturday. People chanted, "Long live the Intifada." One man, and English does not appear to be his first language, said F Israel, but didn't want to comment on anti-Semitism. Oh, gosh, I wonder why not.
Camera, my good sir. Free Palestine, Israel, It's good. Thank you. And how do you feel? Recently there was an attack on a synagogue. And I don't know, man. No speak about this. Thank you. No.
Yeah. Another man dressed up as, I guess, Charlie Chaplin. His choice of outfit seemed a bit odd, though, doesn't it?
This particular law, this terrorism law, I think we're going to win. I think in November they're going to pretty much... here we go.
Yeah, what do you think he was going for there? Anyway, ban all terror laws? That was there. What, all of them? Why would you want to ban all terror laws?
Why would you want to ban any terror laws? And I'm also at the point where I'm like, why? You know what? The flag you're waving is where you need to be, okay? It's very different. At least my very pro-Israel friends, they include the American flag, okay? If you're in America, America comes first, no matter what. If you don't believe it comes first, I also think you should go to wherever you believe comes first, okay? Why do you have a Palestinian flag anywhere but Palestine? So go there. By the way, I've already mentioned how I feel about the show Fauda, amazing. Also Tehran, also amazing. It's so funny. In the show we were watching the other night, they're literally talking to the terrorists and they're like, this show was filmed how many years ago? And they're talking about how Gaza is, they quote unquote, the terrorists' own words go, Gaza's hell. But if you're here and you're part of, the extremist terrorists there, they go, you'll live like a king. And I'm like, oh, so even back then, even to literal terrorists in Gaza, it was still considered hell. Okay. Well, sorry. I don't know what to tell you guys. My empathy is running quite short. Also, it's funny, there was a video release, but of course, all the anti-Israel people don't want to watch it. They were trying to film the fake videos that they do of all the kids running for food and starving and all that, but one of the girls just couldn't stop laughing because it's literally fake. And then Greta Thunberg, the 40-year-old autistic girl who's the movement for the left, she had posted something about how they're terrorists and they were like starving people. She's so fucking stupid. She posted that, and the photo she used was one of the Israeli hostages. And I'm like, oh my God, You guys think Israel has bad PR? You guys are very stupid. You are very, very stupid, but I'm not shocked. You're getting duped by Muslims. Everybody is. We're doing it here in America. The UK's been duped on a crazy level. I don't even know what that is. You guys are, I don't know. Wake up. Sorry. We're going to talk about this every week. I'm not Islamophobic. Well, no, I am. I'm very Islamophobic. So we have Gavin Newsom. Oh, God. California politics. Gavin Newsom vetoes firefighter pay raises, illegal immigration fuels deadly crashes, and Democrats are losing voters fast in California. Good. Thank God. You guys are starting to wake up. We have an image of a bill that Newsom vetoed, which would increase firefighters' pay. And we have an image of an article reporting that Newsom increased funding for illegals. So he obviously cares more about the illegals than firefighters. And I'm like, so Newsom approves $50 million to defend immigrants because he wants to Trump-proof California. So while he's doing that, he's vetoing a bill that would raise the pay for firefighters after cities literally burned to the ground. Does no one, all he does is tweet and podcast 24/7. Does no one push back on any of these things, or does he naturally just ignore it? Because I'm like, even a Democrat should be like, hey, Palisades is gone, Altadena is gone. Do you ever think that maybe, I don't know, even optically that doesn't really look good, or maybe we should prepare for the next one because you've done nothing in the meantime? Still haven't moved the power lines, still haven't cleared the brush. You're saying those people have to do their own stuff. Everything's toxic. The air is toxic. The water's toxic. The land is literally ruined. You're working on bus stations and then affordable housing. Like how that's where your time's going. I don't understand what he does all day. He's like, I know it's like an intern running his Twitter, but I'm like, he does podcasts and he tweets. He does nothing else. I do more. I should run this state. There's no fucking way I would run this state and it would be worse. But I would be very extreme. We have a video highlighting that way more people are registering as Republicans rather than Democrats in California. Yeah.
As of last month, nearly half of all voters are registered with the Democratic Party. 25% of voters are registered with the Republican Party, and 22% are no party preference. But throughout the year, there's been some changes in voter registration and with which party voters want to identify. Since February 10th, 82,000 people chose no party preference when registering to vote. There was also a jump for the Republican Party, with it gaining 48,000 voters. But Democrats only gaining 190 voters in 200 plus days.
And all 190 of those were illegal immigrants. So there it is, guys. It's so funny. People are so scared because these people are so inherently violent to be registered as Republicans that they're just like, no party. And I'm like, what do you think? They're going to make a list of us? They're going to start coming to our doors? If they could, they would. I hate to say it. But I mean, that's great. That's great news. I'm sorry your house had to burn down and we had to have elderly people, burned to death inside their homes for you guys to realize this leadership isn't really working out. But better late than never, I guess. So we have a video about voter ID in California. If you need an ID to do everything in life, then why can't you ask for an ID to vote? We know why.
I want to ask you very quickly about California, because look, California is a bit of a disaster. To all of our friends out in California, we think of you guys all the time and we want to bring California back. We would love to see it flip red, but I know that you have a Save California block party coming up with Nicole Shanahan. This is an effort, Benny, to make sure that, I mean, it sounds crazy to even say voter ID is something that they have to have in California. And I want to get your take. Could we see California flip red? Could they see a Republican as governor of the state? What do you think?
Yes, absolutely, Laura. Very quickly here, if you expand out and look at Wisconsin, there was no voter ID. And Wisconsin was just one of those shady states, right, where you weren't sure where the votes were coming from. Wisconsin had a referendum, put voter ID on the ballot.
Can we flip California red? Yes. Could we elect someone Republican? Yes. How's that going to work when the reason they don't want an ID is because everyone voting here is illegal? Because we have the most illegals here. That's the problem. That's why if we could get voter ID and we could check out and not have all these shady people working in the places you vote and handling your ballots. Do you know how many shady things have happened to me while going to vote and turn in my ballots? which I even do in person, and there's still so much wrong. Like, we cannot trust these people. There's so much fraud in the system. The systems are so rigged. They're always at the benefit of Democrats. But do I believe in all this? Yes. And also, Nicole and Benny, if you're doing this in California, I'm sure that you guys are going to reach out to me, yes, as one of the bigger voices in California, and me and Xavier and Priya and all these people. I'm sure my invitation to this is just lost in the mail. Right, guys? So we have an image of the illegal who killed 6 people in a DUI crash in California. He had 4 previous DUI arrests and multiple cocaine arrests. Well, I mean, he looks great. He doesn't even look like he would do anything wrong. This is probably just, once again, fake Republican news. Great. Had 4 previous DUIs, illegally coming in and out of the U.S. since 1995, multiple cocaine arrests, driving drunk, and killed 6 people and sent another one to the hospital in serious condition. It's amazing. Democrats will probably make a statue of him, and it will be on a college campus near you. And I'm just really glad that these people get to somehow come here illegally 5, 6, 7 times while they can, go back and forth to their homeland. And then when they do come here, they can kill innocent Americans. See, this is the issue. When you argue with Democrats, they do it with me all the time about, everything. They're like, well, Americans statistically actually commit more crimes than illegals. I'm like, okay, first of all, I'm not even doing that shit. It's a fucking crime to be here. Okay, that's a fact. Okay, this whole thing, I'm like, yeah. But here's the thing, dipshits. I can't control crime from Americans. We can control the crime from illegals by not having them here. That is the most black and white argument, and they never seem to understand it. I can't just look at America and be like, you're gonna suck one day, let's deport you, you gotta go. But this actually could be prevented. When they kill Americans, those deaths can be prevented, and whoever's in charge should be held responsible, especially the Biden administration. All of them should be in jail. He should be in jail. How the f*** is Hunter Biden not in jail? That's insane. He was probably the one selling him cocaine that he brought to the White House, which, the guy who films himself doing coke and putting guns to hookers' heads and then being like, the texts are like, I don't want the black or Chinese one. Liberals are totally okay with that. I'm like, yeah, it definitely wasn't his cocaine as he's tweaking out at the White House. That was just the FBI was like, we're stumped here. We don't know. Must have been Trump. Must have been Don Jr., right? Unreal. So Gavin Newsom, who's horrible at memeing, posted this regarding government censorship. It says, honey, did you post something negative about the regime? And I'm just like, wait, is this the same guy who's pressuring social media companies to ban any speech that he doesn't like that goes against him in California, aka literally any Republican, conservative, or level-headed Democrat, aka people like me with huge platforms that call you out on all the bullshit you're doing, people like Spencer Pratt? The irony. All these people are abusive cheaters. They're just like anything that they gaslight everyone around them while they actually do it. Posting this after pushing that law is crazy work. But Democrats will be like, oh, yeah. I was like, are you the same person that arrested a guy paddleboarding by himself? Aren't you the same guy that put sand so kids couldn't skate? Didn't you say that we were going to be fined and potentially arrested? We weren't allowed to drive during COVID. You shut our businesses down, forced to wear masks, forced to wait in line like fucking cattle to go into Trader Joe's for 2 hours. We stood in line, which is the craziest, most dictatorship I've ever seen in my life. Wasn't that you? Because that was never Trump. That was never Republicans. That was all you. While you were having wine with your friends at your vineyard, you evil lizard. Yeah, that was you. That's never us. They accuse you of what they're doing. It's very typical. Happens in the Democrat Party every day. So we have trans craziness in schools, from gender-neutral parenting to drag queens charged with crimes. Happens a lot. Schools are pushing drag clubs, and a Supreme Court is ready to strike down conversion therapy bans. Trans controversies just keep escalating. We're seeing these every day. We have a TikTok video from 60 Minutes Australia which details parents who are raising their child without a gender. I mean, put the parents in jail.
We're not trying to eliminate gender. We're actually trying to show how limitless gender can be, right? And just really helping kids find their own path to it and follow their lead so that they feel comfortable and authentic.
In America, someone who knows how it's done is gender creative parenting guru and social scientist Dr. Kyle Myers. 7 years ago, Kyle and her Australian husband Brent had their first baby, Zuma.
We didn't assign a gender at birth, and we didn't disclose Zuma's reproductive anatomy to people who didn't need to know. The reproductive anatomy that my kiddo was born with, I didn't want to assign too many labels and assumptions and, destinies on top of that.
So you believe that if you're born with a penis, doesn't necessarily make you a boy?
Right. Because so a lot of people who are born with penises identify as a boy, and a lot of people who are born with vulvas identify as a girl. A big part of that is because they're assigned the boy and girl labels, right, and are socialized as such.
Isn't that confusing for a little child?
I think it's actually more confusing to make children think that the 8 billion people on the planet all neatly fit into one of 2 boxes.
Oh, God.
Yeah, because that's how things have worked since the dawn of time, and it worked out perfect. And then now, as we see civilization collapsing, what's happening? There's a million genders. Actually, you should teach your child the basics, which would be there's 2 genders, and you quite literally fit into one of the 2 boxes. These people, the parents should be in jail, and CPS should be called to remove the child immediately, because there's no way. I mean, she'd be better off in foster care than with these freaks. So we have an image of a well-known Phoenix drag queen who was arrested for, shockingly, having sex with a 13-year-old boy. They were going to be a part of the Phoenix Pride Festival. By the way, I see these, having sex with a kid, so raping a kid. That's what that is. These people are normally, I call them pedophiles because they really normally are. The amount of them that get called out for being pedophiles on the weekly basis. And I'm like, imagine how many are doing crazy things behind the scenes that never get called out and never have consequences. I'm like, wait, you're telling me the man who for fun dresses like a woman also is weird and has weird sexual issues and is taking it out on children? Wow, I couldn't believe that. That's why I have an issue. I'll probably move forward with this and they'll probably try to kill me. I have an issue with Santa Monica Boulevard. Not only is it all prime real estate, it's all the gay bars, and they do drag every night. And I'm like, here's the thing. I have an issue with it because that's a street that children and families should be walking down. And I'm like, I don't think it's appropriate. I think if you want to do that stuff, you need to put it on the edge of town. I don't think you get prime real estate. And I also don't think it's appropriate because it's like dudes dancing in thongs with their asses and dicks out. And I'm like, so families have to walk around here and children have to walk by this? Like, if anything, just do this to protect the children at this point. This is like disgusting. This guy's probably going to be out in like 2 days. Probably not even going to go to jail. I don't know anymore. We have a video of a high school in which a teacher has multiple trans flags in his office. There are also flyers for a new club called Society. The club's focus is RuPaul's Drag Race show. High school? Where's the Palestine flag? Okay. So this is why my kids are being homeschooled. I like how they say that there's, it's so funny. When we call them groomers, because that's what they are, they're literally pedophile groomers. They're so quick to push back and be like, no, we're just letting them express who they are. You're literally shoving it down their throats and forcing them. I have a question. How many of these teachers that put the Palestine flags, the trans flags, blah, blah, none of them have the American flags. Okay, so if you are going to push this onto kids, then how would you feel about putting up a MAGA flag, a Trump flag, some Christian propaganda, even some Jewish propaganda? How about all that? Because I noticed that that's not being shoved down any of these kids' throats. It's very, put a don't tread on me flag up or something. But I'm like, no. Because you know why? They would tear it down. They wouldn't allow it. You guys are grooming children. You are pedophiles. It is weird. I also have always thought that teachers, some of them are really good people and they used to believe that the kids could turn out okay. But now I'm just like, what a perfect job for a pedophile. That's like, you get to be around kids and push your agenda down their throat. I'm like, this has got to be some like weird Democrat government, like MK Ultra stuff behind the scenes. Cause I'm like, this is very clear. My kids are not going to school. I would rather them be freaks and homeschool them because they're definitely not going to be around that. So the Supreme Court is striking down Colorado's ban on conversion therapy. This is the practice of doctors trying to get kids from not transitioning. And they're trying to stop that. They're trying to stop them from not letting kids transition. Am I correct on this? Which is insane. Because, look, I think that there's so much money in this. Okay, here, I'll give you my conspiracy theory of why I think all this is happening. I could be wrong. Who knows? I believe that, A, they want to depopulate us. They want us to just abort our children, mutilate ourselves, whatever. The second part of that is I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to make children in society seem like adults. And the way you make a child seem like an adult is you allow them to make all their own decisions. Because when you're allowing children to make decisions, you are treating them like an adult when children should have very few decisions. And then when you see them as an adult, it justifies things you can do with them, like sexual things. Oh, well, like the kid is already so smart and has like gender theory and like changing his gender. So of course, this is totally normal. Okay, well, you know what? If you guys really think that, then let the kid drink, buy a pack of cigarettes, smoke, get some tattoos, since they're adults, right? That's like, anything sexual should be the last thing should not be on the table for a child. But it's funny because then when you interview them and you ask them those questions, they're like, well, that's insane. Okay, but you guys don't think any of this is insane? So they want to be like, no, you guys can't tell them not to be trans. We're going to ban that. I think the Democrats are getting paid, the doctors are getting paid, the teachers are getting kickbacks. The doctors should be in prison, anyone who does these things. And I think it's just a way to make money and to just ruin them. And then, we can eventually take these mentally ill children and find them on the internet and be like, hey, you want to go burn down this Republican's house? You'll be a martyr. This is like the liberal version of Islam. That's what it is. They're like, you're going to do this horrible thing and then you're going to be a martyr. People are going to remember you. This is why liberalism and Islam now is just like this. They're the useful idiots for them. They're like, oh, you already want to ruin yourselves in the country. This is perfect. That's why they're like together. But that's just what I think. So who knows? Not related to trans stuff, but another example of big problems in schools, equitable grading, in which it's impossible to fail a class. The next generation is and they will either turn out retarded or trans, and this is proof of that.
Why is no one talking about what's happening in our schools? I just came across this new thing that schools are rolling out called equitable grading. It sounds good in theory, and as a student I probably would have loved it, but from where I stand now, we're cooked. Equitable grading in practice means unlimited test retakes, no zeros for missing work, no late penalties, no homework, and no required participation. In short, everyone passes, and more than half of US public schools have already adopted at least one of these policies, and some districts have adopted all of them. Teachers themselves are calling it academic fraud. Meanwhile, the US already spends more per student than almost any other developed nation, and our students are performing near the bottom. For example, American 15-year-olds placed 28th out of 37 countries in math, and reading and math scores just hit their lowest levels in 20 years. In some districts, over 50% of middle school students are already 3 or more grade levels behind, yet they're still being pushed through the system. Apparently, schools are implementing this to raise test scores, improve graduation rates, and close achievement gaps tied to race and income. But what happens when these kids hit the real world, when they enter college unprepared, or when they try to hold down a job where deadlines and accountability actually matters? This is the classroom version of handing out participation trophies to every kid on the field, and it's not just lowering the bar, it's destroying it. The result will be a generation of young adults unequipped to lead, innovate, question, or handle the responsibilities of real life.
These kids are going to go get a real job. They're going to be asked to do one task and they're going to cry and kill themselves. Literally, you know what this is going to do? It's going to punish the white kids, punish the Asian kids, and then they're going to lower the standards for the black kids. They're going to lower the standards for the illegals and the Mexican kids and all those kids. And it's just going to, once again, we can only function at a pace of the lowest performing people in society. And think about it. Those are the only people we cater to. Oh, no, it's okay. It's not your fault. And then I'm like, what's the point of it? Dude, this is literally idiocracy. I don't know how many times I have to bring it up. This is literally idiocracy coming to life. Also, what happened? Like, not only this is past participation trophy, which is so funny because who was it? Wasn't it like, I don't know, my basketball players. Was it LeBron James who opened the school for black kids and then like gave all like millions of dollars and then none of them graduated? And I was like, oh, so actually just the whole equity thing and all this, it's actually just bullshit. It doesn't work out. So I don't know where, I guess just homeschool your kids. I don't really even know where to go from there. Los Angeles goes even further downhill. We have a video of Katie Porter who storms off on a reporter. Just simplest questions, could not handle it. She probably was one of the kids coming from these schools.
What do you say to the 40% of California voters who you'll need in order to win, who voted for Trump?
How would I need them in order to win, ma'am?
Well, unless you think you're going to get 60% of the vote. You think you'll get 60%. Everybody who did not vote for Trump will vote for you. That's what you're saying.
In a general election, yes. If it is me versus a Republican, I think that I will win the people who did not vote for Trump.
What if it's you versus another Democrat?
I don't intend that to be the case.
So how do you not intend that to be the case? Are you going to ask them not to run?
No, I'm saying I'm going to build the support. I have the support already in terms of name recognition. And so I'm going to do the very best I can to make sure that we get through this primary in a really strong position. But let me be clear with you. I represented Orange County. I represented a purple area. I have stood on my own 2 feet and won Republican votes before. That's not something every candidate in this race can say. If you're from a deep blue area, if you're from LA or you're from Oakland, you don't have an experience.
But you just said you don't need those Trump voters.
Well, you asked me if I needed them to win.
So you don't
I
think
feel like this is unnecessarily argumentative. What is your question?
The question is the same thing I asked everybody, that this is being called the empowering voters to stop Trump's power grab. Every other candidate has answered this question. This is not
correct. And I said I support it.
So, and the question is, what do you say to the 40% of voters who voted for Trump?
Oh, I'm happy to say that. It's the do you need them to win part that I don't understand. I'm happy to answer the question as you have it written, and I'll answer it.
And we've also asked the other candidates, do you think you need any of those 40% of California voters to win? And you're saying, no, you don't.
No, I'm saying I'm going to try to win every vote I can. And what I'm saying to you is that...
Well, to those voters. Okay, so you...
I don't want to keep doing this. I'm going to call it. Okay. Thank you.
You're not going to do the interview with us?
Nope, not like this. I'm not with 7 follow-ups.
How do you manage to tank your campaign in like a 5-minute interview? Like the most easy question to answer, you have a mental breakdown. First of all, this is why men have a point when they're like, women should not be in these positions. They are way too illogical and emotional. But I'm like, as a registered Republican in California, the overweight liberal white woman who cannot answer a question about voting, nevertheless how she's going to improve or do anything for California, who should be managing a Buc-ee's, does not have my vote. I don't think she has a conservative vote. She doesn't have a Republican vote. She sure as hell's not getting an independent vote. I don't even think she's getting a sane Democrat vote. But she was just like, whoa, like, I didn't know you were going to like ask me questions. This is insane. I'm out. She's also like, I feel like you're coming at me aggressively. And she's like, hey, dumbass, I literally asked everybody else the same question and they had no issue answering it. I'm shocked. Every time I see these interviews, because I'm not super familiar with these people, I'm newer to the politics game, like maybe 5 years. I'm just like, what? How did you get to any place of power or any position? You can't even answer questions. I could have done this interview with no knowledge of anything, high off Molly 6 years ago, and I would have done a better job than her. So she will not have my vote, but we will be getting hopefully people on the show that are running, that do have a chance, that are not, mentally retarded. So that's good. We have a video of Matt Sidoroff? I don't know. New mental health housing on Ocean Avenue in Santa Monica, guys.
Frustration growing in Santa Monica over plans for a new housing facility for those living with severe mental health issues.
And you have 47 unhinged drug addicts that are going to house them in the nicest real estate in the country.
This is the location near Georgina and Ocean Avenue, what was a senior living facility with $1 million views and sunsets.
The location's a little conspicuous, right? I mean, for the county to be able to come and just place this right here in the middle of the neighborhood, I find it to be a little confusing.
There's more about the homeless people than it does about the residents that are actually paying the highest property and sales tax in the country.
The facility here will have at least 47 beds for those with mental health issues. There will be staff on site 24/7. It will also have an open door, meaning residents can come and go whenever they want. Anything you can do to stop it if you're not in favor of it?
So right now, I'm working with our city staff to find out what legal ramifications we have to push back on the county and the state. So far, the state has said you are not allowed to stall, drag your feet, or deny any of these change of use permits when it has to do with these types of housing issues. But
Santa Monica's mayor tells me she found out about this project within the last 2 weeks. She's against it and is going to try to fight it.
it's next to the highest tourist activity, where hotels go upwards to $1,000 a night.
Do you live in Santa Monica and pay some of the highest taxes in the country and live on beautiful Ocean Avenue and pay God knows how much a month? Well, good news. 47 mentally ill people on drugs are going to go move into your neighborhood, and they get to go in and out as they please. And I'm sure this will somehow end up back on our tax dollars. And they'll be right by all the hotels and everywhere where tourists goes. Why do we put homeless people and crackheads in prime real estate? Can a Democrat answer me that? I know it's to, it's all shady, land grab, whatever it is, property, real estate, money laundering, whatever. Why not Lancaster? Why not Bakersfield? Why are they in prime real estate? Unreal. Everyone's like, I can't believe there's so many illegals and homeless and crackheads in California. I'm like, yeah, they get to come do drugs, harass the locals, sexually assault and stab people, and then they get to have beachfront property as they do it. Where else in the world would you rather be? Who runs Santa Monica? They're stupid. They need to be replaced. They're really terrible. Santa Monica, out of everywhere in LA, has gone the most aggressively downhill, and it's like that's like the number one tourist place to go. It used to be so nice. We have Rick Caruso about LA tourism going down. I wonder why.
Hello, everyone. I want to bring to your attention, there were two articles in the LA Times this week that everybody should really take note of and read. One was about the decline of tourism in Los Angeles. And you may not think that's important off the face of it, which I understand, but it really is important. More and more people are staying away from visiting LA, and that's a real problem. It impacts all of our businesses, especially small businesses, restaurants, shops, and stores. It's part of our economy, and the lack of tourism is also why we're seeing a decline in revenues in LA City. And that decline in revenues is turning out to reducing city services that you and I need and depend on. And that's actually happening now. The mayor and the city council are reducing services to deal with a budget that is over budget by $1 billion, and revenues have declined.
We need you, Rick. I feel you're our only hope. I hate to say it. So why do you want to come to Santa Monica, pay $1,000 for a hotel, be surrounded by literal crackheads? You can't wear nice bags. You can't wear nice watches. You're probably going to get robbed. It smells like piss. There's human feces everywhere. There's literally needles on the ground. And it's literally not safe to be outside. So yeah, why would you want to be here? Why would you spend your money to come here when you could go somewhere that is also by the beach, that's not this expensive, and not turning into literal hell? Sorry. We have an image of the hilarious reasons that LA Times gives for the reason tourists aren't showing up anymore. They say January wildfires. Okay, well, most people don't want to go travel somewhere when it's burning down, so sure. Immigration raids and Trump's tariff threat. Okay, tariffs aren't affecting anyone who's coming here to vacation right now. I'm sorry. Immigration raids? Well, that's fine. I don't want. What do you mean, like illegals are coming here to vacation and that's like killing their vacation vibes? What do you even mean by that? Hollywood Boulevard foot traffic dropped because you will be stabbed. You will be stabbed on Hollywood Boulevard. Hollywood Boulevard, if hell exists, which I believe it does, and most of you are going to go there, especially if you're a liberal, I believe it would be Hollywood Boulevard. I would be stuck on Hollywood Boulevard and have to walk around for all of eternity. That's worse to me than being like on fire and being sexually assaulted by Satan every day. So yeah, that's what they're like, that's why. It's totally not all the things that we've done to ruin this state aggressively. It's because the illegals don't want to come vacation here because they might get arrested by ICE. That's what it is. We have a video of Rob Lowe on how the film industry in LA is destroyed.
It's cheaper to bring 100 American people to Ireland than to walk across the lot at Fox.
Right.
Past the sound stages and do it there.
Crazy. Do you think if we shot Parks right now, we would be in Budapest?
100% we would be. We'd be in Budapest. We would be.
It's so weird. There's nothing shoots in Los Angeles.
Nothing. I had my next show already done, scripts, deals closed.
Yeah.
And they said, we're shooting this in New York. And I said, I'm not moving to New York to do this.
Yeah.
And then it went away. The show's done. I'm not doing it.
Wow.
It's like,
no shit.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
It's just too expensive to shoot here.
There are no tax credits. So like all those other places are offering 40%.
Yeah.
40%.
Oh, yeah.
And then on top of that, there's other stuff that they do.
Yeah.
And then and that's not even talking about the union stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's just tax economics of it all. So it's criminal what the California and LA have let happen. It's criminal. Everybody should be fired.
Yeah, well, I mean, there you go. You know, hipsters, there you go, guys. This is why film's being destroyed. You guys can't get jobs out of here. Your little dreams of being actors are destroyed. Comedy's failing out here. I mean, those two things go very, very hand in hand. Well, there it is. You've literally destroyed it. We have, tweet from Justine Bateman, Jason Bateman's sister. Oh, that's who that is. Talking about a pretty obvious reason people don't want to watch movies or TV shows anymore. Best thing filmmakers and series shows runners can do right now is leave politics out of their projects. People are, being blasted with the political online TV everywhere they look. Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. The only thing, good things haven't been coming out. But now we're seeing not only if you want to put something out, you're going to have such an insane budget, and who's going to be behind you? It's going to have to be Netflix. So you're going to have to produce some woke bullshit that no one wants to watch anyways. There's nothing, you can't create something cool here. You can't make a movie like Under the Skin or something like that when they're like, oh, what's the budget? Oh, it costs $500,000 to walk across the street. So yeah, that's why you guys have destroyed TV, film, art, music. You've destroyed everything that made anything cool or worth living around. Now you have to go to Silver Lake and watch trust fund kids, cosplay being poor, and then wondering why none of them can get jobs out of here. You retards, you destroyed it. You ruined your own careers and your own futures. Congrats. Trump will never stop being hilarious. The only hill I will die on.
I'll tell you what. I'm getting calls from Democrats wanting to meet. I never even heard their names before, and they're claiming to be leaders. The Democrats have no leader. They remind me of Somalia, okay? And I met the president of Somalia. I told him about the problem he's got. I said, you have somebody from Somalia who's telling us how to run our country. She's from Somalia. He said, would you like to take her back? He said, no, I don't want her. Okay, you know who I'm talking about?
Oh my God, him talking about obviously Ilhan Omar is the funniest thing in the world. Dude, it's crazy how people were like, Biden's great with like an earpiece and a script. I'm like, his best work is off script. He is funnier than any actor, any comedian, any late night show. I wish he wasn't so busy as president. And after this, I just want him to just relax on the beach. Just relax. He deserves it. He's been through so much. But I'm like, if he had a late night show, can you imagine the ratings on that and how funny it would be? It would be amazing. Oh my God. It's so funny. So what, do you think Somalia was like, we don't her. She's horrible. I feel like she's probably sending a lot of money back home and funneling something. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. We will see you very soon. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment. We will be back shortly.